So, you've got this assignment in front of you, the vision speech. And yeah, it sounds a little intimidating, right? Like you're supposed to predict your own future. But what if we looked at it differently? Think of it as creating a roadmap for the person you actually want to become. This isn't just about a grade, it's a pretty powerful tool for designing your own life. And this quote from the great Yogi Berra, it absolutely nails why this whole thing is so important. I mean, it's just common sense, but we forget it all the time. If you don't have a destination in mind, you're just drifting. The whole point here is to paint a picture of your future that's so clear, so real, that you can actually start walking towards it right now. So, here's our game plan. We're going to break it all down into 5 simple parts. First, we'll get into what the vision speech is and why it matters. Then we'll get to the fun stuff, actually crafting your future self. After that, we'll tackle the nitty-gritty rules for the manuscript and the video. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with a checklist so you know you've got everything covered. All right, first things first, let's really dig into what a vision speech is. And maybe more importantly, why you should care about it. This is where things get really cool. You're not just talking about your future plans. No, you are speaking from your future. You're embodying that person, the one with the cool job, the confidence, the expertise, and you're talking like it's already happened. It's kind of like method acting for your own life. You get to try on the person you're going to become. And here's a really key detail, the time frame. We're looking at 5 to 7 years from today. Now, why that specific window? Well, it's the sweet spot. It's far enough away that you can dream big and make some ambitious goals, but it's close enough that it feels real and you can actually map out the steps to get there. It keeps it from being just a fantasy. Okay, so we've got the big idea down. Now, let's move on to my favorite part, actually building the story of your future self. This is where you get creative and put the meat on the bones of your speech. We're going to break this down into 3 simple steps. First, you got to decide who this future you is. A scientist, a filmmaker, a business owner. Then, and this is crucial, you have to research the real, actual path to get there. And finally, you'll put all of that into a very specific speaking scenario. Now, this part is super specific, and everyone has to follow this exact setup. You are a successful pro, and you've been invited back by an old teacher to give a talk to their current students. Think about it. It's the perfect scenario because it forces you to explain the most important part of your story, which is your path. This cannot be a work of fiction. The real power of this assignment comes from doing your homework. You need to look up the actual colleges, the real courses, the specific internships and companies that will form the ladder to your success. That research is what makes your vision feel less like a dream and more like a plan. All right, let's talk about the manuscript. And I know, when you see a list of strict formatting rules, it can feel a little intense. But trust me on this, every single one of these rules is there for a reason. And that reason is to make it easier for you to deliver an amazing speech. Let's look at why these rules exist. A huge 20-point font, that's so you can read it with just a quick glance. That giant margin at the bottom, it gives your eyes a place to rest so the page doesn't feel cluttered. And the alternating bold and unbolded lines, that's a cool little brain hack. It creates a visual pattern that helps you keep your place without even thinking about it. And now for the rule that might feel the weirdest at first. Every sentence, no matter how short, gets its own line. See the difference? We're avoiding those big, chunky paragraphs. Why? Because it forces you to write in clear, punchy, breathable sentences. And guess what? That makes you sound way more confident and powerful when you speak. So your final document is going to have 3 parts. Page 1 is the introduction that your host, one of your audience members, is going to read for you. Then you've got the main event, your 5 to 6 minute speech, all perfectly formatted. And the very last page will have 4 questions you've written for your audience to ask you. Slap it all together, save it as a PDF, and you're good to go. Okay, manuscript is sorted. Now, how do we take those words on the page and turn them into a living, breathing performance on camera? Let's get into it. For this section, the magic number is 2. Super easy to remember. It applies to 2 things that are absolutely non-negotiable. You need a minimum of 2 weeks of practice, and you need a minimum of 2 audience members when you record. 2 and 2. Got it? So here's your pre-recording game plan. Step 1, you've put in your 2 weeks of practice, so you know this speech inside and out. Step 2, you've gathered your 2 friends, family members, whoever. Step 3, right before you start, you hand out those 4 questions you wrote, and only then, once all that is done, do you set up your camera to get the perfect shot. And getting that shot right is so important. We need to see you from the waist up. Why? So your hands and gestures are always in the frame. The camera needs to be at eye level, no weird angles looking up your nose. We should see your lectern with your manuscript on it. And of course, this should go without saying, but make sure your audio is clear and your lighting is good. Okay, this is a big one. You have to record the entire presentation in one continuous take. No stopping, no starting over, no editing together the best parts. From the second your host starts the intro to the second you finish answering that last question, the camera is rolling. The whole shebang, all in one go, should land somewhere between 6.5 and 10 minutes. We have covered a ton of ground. So, before we wrap this up, let's just do a super fast recap of the absolute must-dos. Think of this as your final checklist for success. First up, timing is absolutely everything. Keep that introduction nice and short, under a minute. Your actual speech, your big moment, needs to land squarely between 5 and 6 minutes. Not 4, not 7, 5 to 6. And the Q&A at the end will take another minute or two. So here it is, the cheat sheet. If you forget everything else, remember this. Your speech has to be 5 to 6 minutes. Your manuscript formatting must be perfect. You need at least 2 people watching you live. Frame the video from the waist up with the camera at eye level, and you absolutely must record it all in one single continuous take. You nail these points, you're going to do great. And that brings us right back to where we started. See, this whole thing isn't really just about giving a speech. It's a chance to actually do the work, to create a tangible plan, and to feel what it's like to be that future version of you. It's a seriously powerful tool. So the only question left is, who will you become?